another woman who's trailblazing and making headlines, Sarah Thomas. Next month, she'll become the first woman to officiate a Super Bowl as a down judge for the referee crew at Super Bowl 55 in Florida, which is very exciting. Now, Sarah Thomas has been someone who has had a lot of firsts. She was first woman ref to be hired by the league. First to ref a bowl game. In college with the Big Ten. First woman on-field official in an NFL playoff game during the Patriots and Los Angeles Chargers game. So she's just been, again, like another trailblazer. She's just opening doors for so many other people. And I feel like officiating is something like coaching, where anyone, if they put the work in, they're dedicated, they learn it, and they have that presence. Like coaching, they don't have to have played the game at the NFL level to be successful in that position. So I think that's going to be really cool to see. I don't know if Chris, will start with you, if what that means to the league, even though it's not a coach, just having a female ref on the sideline during Super Bowl, and how that dynamic's going to be with her making decisions surrounded by these very masculine and powerful men.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, it's a long time coming. You kind of figured that she would be the one who did it. As you mentioned, the first Thomas was the first female ref in NFL history, and now she's the first female ref to officiate a Super Bowl. So that's kind of the progression, right? You start as a youngster, and then eventually you work your way to the Super Bowl, and it's amazing, and it's going to be great to see her reffing a game. You obviously seen her on TV on Sunday, and there's more female refs now than just Sarah Thomas, but yeah, it's great again to see that kind of diversity and change in what a traditional role, different than what we traditionally would think it would look like.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say as a Saints fan, I know about bad refs just from past with the Rams game, and she actually did the Saints game last week with the Saints and Bucks, and I thought she did a wonderful job. And as someone who could be, I think, a little critical of refs just because of what happened, I think she definitely deserves it. And I feel like when you're a ref for so long, I mean, I think that, as Chris said, it's like the natural next progression. And again, definitely, I mean, I think she'll do a great job. I mean, look, when you've been doing it for so long, Super Bowl, again, it's just, at the end of the day, another football game. And it's definitely a big step forward, though. And again, like now there's more female refs, and, you break that barrier and then everyone starts piling through. So again, definitely great news.
Yeah. And, you just mentioned, ref criticism. Obviously, it's one of the hardest jobs in professional sports, because no matter what decision you make, 50% of the people watching the game are going to hate you, and 50% of people are going to think you're an idiot, and you're going to get all this, these very, scrutinizing looks and comments. Do you think her being a female ref is going to mean that the stakes are higher and that she's going to get more criticism? If you look at Sarah Fuller, who became the first female to score points in a Power 5 football game as a Vanderbilt kicker, the backlash that she received online by so many people, judging and critiquing every small, move she made, including her first kick, which was a squib kick. Everyone's saying, oh, that was supposed to be a, kickoff, and she messed it up, and all these like comments just because she's female. A lot of guys coming out and saying, oh, I can kick a field goal, 40-year-old men who've never played a sport in their lives. Do you think, is there that extra level? Is there that extra layer where, a female in one of these positions has to prove themselves a little bit more?
I think it's possible, but I think in this situation, she's done nothing but prove herself for many years now. And look, if there's, a wrong, offsides, down judge. So if there's a wrong offsides call that ruins the Super Bowl, we'll be talking about it no matter who it is, I think. But it's certainly possible. I'm not going to rule it out, but I think that over the last few years, not only Sarah Thomas, but all the female officials have done nothing but prove that there's no reason that they can't.
Yeah, I mean, there probably always will be haters, and you talk about the Sarah Fuller thing, like she executed that squib pick perfectly, and like stuff like that. And then people like, oh, I can kick a field goal. Like probably you can't, because I remember even with the Bears when Cody Parkey missed like the 30-yard field goal to send them to the next round. I forgot who it was. Maybe it was Barstool or something. They basically were on a football field and just told fans, come on, let's see if you can kick the field goal. Nobody made it. So, haters will always hate, but at the end of the day, I mean, when you're overqualified for something and you get this, I mean, to me, I think she'll do a great job.
Yeah, definitely. And these two names that I've mentioned, Jennifer King and Sarah Thomas, they're just two names in a long list of some impressive and groundbreaking hires that we've seen in the past year. You know, we look at 2020 and everyone always thinks of, you know, very negative things, you know, and rightfully so, but there have been some sparks. You know, Becky Hammon in the NBA for the Spurs, she became the first woman to act as a head coach when Greg Popovich had to sit out. And, you know, Bianca Smith just recently becoming the first Black woman to coach in Major League Baseball with the Boston Red Sox. And that's coming just months after the Miami Marlins obviously hired longtime baseball executive Kim Ng as their general manager, making her the MLB's first female GM, which is one of the highest positions of power in professional sports. So I just think there's been so many important career decisions and choices of who these leagues are hiring to represent them at the highest levels. And I think it's really going to truly open doors for people who may not have seen these jobs and seen them as being possible. You know, I think it's so huge to see somebody who looks like you working those positions, who's getting that respect. And I think it kind of I think it's going to inspire a generation that's already, you know, already starting to break boundaries and shatter ceilings. And I think all of these moves are going to be very impactful for the generations to come, you know, especially for women in sports.
I think that Becky Hammon is a great kind of comparison for Sarah Thomas because it's somebody who we've seen do the job 1,000 times now, right?
Mhm.
And the day where the big day comes, it was a big deal. I know we couldn't prepare for the Becky Hammon run because Pop got thrown out of the game. In this one, it's more of a preparation. You know, we're talking about it 2 weeks before the game. Um, but we've seen them do that job a million times, and now they're just going to do it on a bigger stage, and it's something to talk about, and it's something to be, you know, proud of as a society. But at the end of the day, we know that they're going to do a fantastic job because we've seen them every single day, and there's no reason to think otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I think as you see women, you know, go higher in sports, hopefully you'll see less of that Jared Porter, you know, discussing stuff because then they'll be in positions of power and you'll be able to everything, you know, you'll weed out those people that, you know, and I think that's what's happening and that's great. And hopefully we see it continue.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. You know, hopefully this just continues to, again, like I've said, inspire continual change. Hopefully we start to see more diversity in coaching decisions, even not even just women, but, you know, minorities. You know, hopefully, you know, like you look in the NFL right now, Eric Bieniemy, he still hasn't been hired, which is causing a lot of questions. And you know, the NFL did put in that Rooney Rule, and you and kind of adjusted that, trying to improve their diversity, but you still haven't seen any legitimate and solid change. So hopefully that's the next step in increasing diversity in some of these leagues. But I think I think it's still just important to remember some of these names and to highlight some of the more positive aspects of women in sports. You know, as important as it is to share those stories like the Jared Porter story that came out, I think it's equally, if not more important, to share the stories of the positive things and, you know, see these examples of strong and independent women being successful in a pretty male dominated industry.